Hi, I'm attorney Ben Schwartz. Today we're going to answer a question from Karen in Dover, Delaware. Karen wrote in and she said she was injured on the job, made a claim for workers' compensation benefits, but she was denied, and the employer and the insurance company, workers' compensation insurance company, is claiming she's not an employee. And is that legal? And the direct answer is we would need to know more about the case. Please come in for a free consultation and we'll see if we can make a determination if that's right or not. But I like the question, and it's a good springboard to generally talk about the employee versus independent contractor distinction. So the employee versus independent contractor distinction comes into play very commonly in the law. And it comes into play in situations like this, where someone is injured on the job, goes to make a claim for workers' compensation benefits, say to get their medical expenses paid, and the insurance company says, well, we're not paying for anything, you're not an employee and you're not covered under workers' comp. It also comes into play in other types of personal injury cases. So for example, let's say that a woman is stopped at a red light and she's rear-ended by a van. The van is driven by Joe, the carpet installer, and the van says right down the side, XYZ Carpet and Home. Well, obviously, the carpet installer is installing carpet, and the carpet was sold by XYZ, but the question comes up is the carpet installer the employee of XYZ, or is he an independent contractor? If he's an independent contractor, then XYZ is not legally responsible for the injuries caused to the lady. But if he's the employee, then XYZ is also responsible. He's responsible, and XYZ is responsible for paying for compensation for the lady's injuries. So the question in a lot of these cases is the at-fault party an employee or an independent contractor? And it depends. Every single case is going to be different. And there are factors that we look at to determine the extent of direction and control. How much direction and control is the employer asserting over the employee or over the independent contractor? Now I'll give you an example just to try and give you a little further context. Let's say that you hire me as your attorney, and we're going to go to court on Tuesday of next week. On the way to court from my office to the courthouse, we drive separately, and I cause an accident. I run into somebody. I run a red light and I run into somebody and I injure them, and they're now going to sue me. Can they sue you? You employed me as the attorney, and I was acting for you as I was driving to court. But you're going to say, well, Schwartz was an independent contractor. He's not my employee. Therefore, I'm not responsible to pay for his negligence because he's a bad driver. The person that I hit may say, no, Schwartz is your employee, and you directed and controlled him, and you sent him to court that day, and he was acting on your behalf. And so this is the context in which this question comes up. Of course, if you hire a professional like an attorney to do one particular case, to go to court for you in one particular matter, that's probably going to be an independent contractor relationship. But if you own a law firm and you hire me as one of the attorneys in your law firm, and you pay me a salary and you give me a place to work and you provide me with a car to drive back and forth to court, then chances are you, as the law firm owner, chances are you're going to be responsible for my negligence when I run a red light and smash into somebody, because you're my employer and you're directing and controlling the work. So that's the difference. That's the employee independent contractor distinction. It can be a very important question. It's a good question. I'm glad we got the chance to discuss this. It's an aspect of the law that I think that many people are very unfamiliar with unless it comes up in their case. And oftentimes when it comes up in their case, it hits them over the head like a ton of bricks, because it can be the difference between recovering compensation or not recovering compensation. So I appreciate, Karen, I appreciate you asking the question. come on in for a legal consultation. We'll sit down, we'll review all of the things that you look at to determine if you're an employee or an independent contractor, and see if we can help you. And if you're watching this video and you have questions for me about the law or your legal rights, send me an email. My email address is ben.schwartz@schwartzandschwartz.com. Thanks for watching.